Hi everyone, so today I'm going to show you an easy way to do self-portraits or selfies with your Olympus camera. So in my last video when I was talking about this 40 to 150 lens, someone had asked me how did I get the camera to focus on me when I was kind of all by myself, right? Because there's nobody behind the camera taking my picture. As usual, I'm like a one-man band here. But in any case, it's very easy using two features in the Olympus camera. One of them I think may be unique to Olympus. The first one is one of the shutter modes, which I talked about before, and that's the custom self-timer. And the second feature is in the autofocus system, what's called the face detect, which a lot of cameras have today, but it actually works pretty well in the Olympus camera. And today I'll be using my EM10 Mark II as a base camera with the same 40 to 150 lens that I did in my last video. And and then I'll go through some of the settings and some of the options we can talk about. But let's go ahead into the camera. Now I've done a full factory reset on this camera so that we're all on the same page. But if you've been following along and have all these settings set up from our previous videos, I don't think you need to change anything. So all you have to do is change the settings that I'll be talking about here. Okay, so let's go into the menu and take a look. So the first thing, like I said, I did a factory reset, and we'll just go into the super control panel. And everything's set to auto as usual, but what's important here is the autofocus area points. Let's click OK here. Now I want you to take note of where the autofocus area is, because you don't want to be standing outside of this autofocus area, because otherwise the camera won't see your face, right? So just note the framing of your picture. If it's not showing all green points, just click the info button and then toggle up and down until you get back to all focus area points selected, and then click OK, and you're set. The next thing we want to do as part of the autofocus system is, we're in single point autofocus, which is fine, or single shot autofocus. That's the default setting. And then also we have face detect, a little eye next to it, which means, eye priority, which works okay on this camera. It's not great, but you can leave that on by default as well. Then finally, we'll just go into the shutter mode. Right now the default is single, and we'll rotate the front dial until we get to the self-timer. And this is the self-timer that most people use to try to take their picture, but it has its challenges. That's why we're going to use the custom self-timer. Now in the custom self-timer, I can set this up, and there's three settings. The first one is the delay before it takes the first picture after you hit the shutter button. So you hit the shutter button, you can set the delay. And then you can tell the camera how many pictures to take, up to 10. And then the last setting is, the next setting is the delay between each picture. And then finally, the most important setting is the autofocus feature, which tells the camera to refocus for each picture. So let's take a look at the settings. So we'll go into the super control panel. We have, hi puppy. We have the custom self-timer. We'll click OK, and there's the three settings. Right now it's set to 1 second delay, 3 shots, half second in between, with autofocus on. Let's go ahead and click the info button, and that'll let us change these settings. So let's change the first self-timer to be 10 seconds. So I'm asking the camera to wait 10 seconds after I hit the shutter button to actually take the picture. And let's do 5 pictures. And then we can tell it between each picture to wait up to 3 seconds. And that's the maximum. And then every frame autofocus, make sure that's on. You can toggle this on and off, make sure that's on, and then click OK. And that's it for the settings. I got everything else pretty much set to auto. So what it's going to do is going to take 5 pictures, and it should reacquire focus every time I move around. So I'm going to move back and forth from this tree here between 6 feet and 12 feet, I think, approximately in the frame. And ideally, the camera will acquire focus on me every time for the 5 shots. So let's get started. But now, when I first push the shutter button, it doesn't matter where the camera picks the focus point, because before it takes the picture, it's going to try and reacquire focus. And then also there's a little orange light on the front of the camera that'll stay steady when it's counting down and start to blink about 1 or 2 seconds before it actually takes the picture. So it'll help you compose or smile, what have you, make sure your eyes are open, etc. So let's go ahead and get started. And first I'll stand here about 6 feet. Okay, then I'll move back here to the tree. Oops, I was moving here. And then let's move over here. And then I'll move back. Okay, and that's 5 pictures. Let's go into the camera and take a look at these. Now I'm going to click the info button here, because what I want you to see is the little green box here that tells me the focus point that the camera chose. And you can see that on this picture it did find my face and focused right on it. And if I go back 1 picture, you can see that it also found my face and took the picture. If I go back again, you can see the focus point moved over to the right a little bit. If I go back to the first one, it looks like it may not have caught me that time. And then the very first picture, picture number 1, as indicated here, it did seem to find me. So let's zoom in on that. And yeah, tack sharp there. Alright, so that's pretty much it, how to do the selfies. You can see the camera did a really good job, except for that 1 frame where I didn't have time to stand still long enough and pose. But so remember, you only have 3 seconds. Now, there's a trick to get around that 3-second limit, okay? And I'll do that in another video. But for now, this will get you started with doing selfies and making sure that you're in focus. So think about all the settings I showed you. Think about maybe other creative ways to use it, because the other way I use the custom self timer is in my real estate work, and it's really a very, very powerful feature. So you can use it probably 1,000 different ways if you're a very creative person. And this video was really answering a question from one of you guys in the comments. So I'm going to try and do more videos like this where I'm answering very specific questions. So if you have specific questions, I'll try and make a short video on it to help answer that and show you how it's done on the camera. And again, I appreciate all of the kind feedback I've been getting. I really appreciate that. It inspires me to make more videos for you guys. And you know, if you want to see more videos, hit the subscribe button, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.